It's Dave's Super Tasty video show. Nels Cline, who plays with Mike Watt's band. What do you call the Flying Saucers?
The crew of the Flying Saucer.
Check. And none other than Mike Watt. Mike, you're my hero.
Well, thanks.
I mean that. I saw you at the entry a while back, years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You were the nicest guy.
Well, thank you.
And you haven't changed. Let's talk about this last tour that you guys went on with Hovercraft and the Foo Fighters.
Right.
How did this whole thing come about?
Well, it was kind of a Seattle posse thing. We wanted to do a tour version of the album, which is a bunch of guys who don't play together. And so the Foo Fighters, Dave, put together a band, and Hovercraft was Ed's wife's band, and they kind of ended up being my band. It was kind of like the old SST tours, where we all together played and took on the country, and it was a real growth experience for me. I'd never stood in the middle before. I really can't pay them guys back for what they did to me. They helped me grow in a lot of ways. I mean, I'd already done 23 tours. You think you know it all, you've done it all, and then here you see there's so much more to do, and that's the neat thing about music. It doesn't have to be tired if you just stretch the boundaries. And Nels got to play with us too, about 4 or 5 gigs, and Dave and Ed, they were amazed. Well, Ed wanted to see how them chords really were fingered. and Dave, man, I'll tell you, that's one experience I'll never forget, is getting to play on stage with Dave Grohl playing drums behind me. I mean,
and how was it for you, Nels? You played on some of the dates?
Right, it was extremely exciting because, for one thing, what he was talking about, Dave's drumming, the tunes that he played on, I got to play on some of those tunes, and that's like having mega force behind you, and Eddie playing very, very solid guitar, and he's very, very cool, and everybody was so nice. Pat Smear was playing, that was really cool, and it was wrestling.
But you were able to go on stage knowing, hey, you know what, the rest of these guys have it together, so there's no, you know what you're going into, huh?
It really was probably a little more natural feeling than I expected in a way. I just came on in New York. In New York, it was out of the blue. I just came up and played, not knowing if it was going to work at all, and it was completely cool. It was so fun. It was ridiculously fun.
Yeah, the tour we only practiced 6 days before it. I went up there, flew up there, yeah.
Wow.
But it was kind of a test to see, I know there's a lot of this alternative paint by numbers, connect the dots, and for guys who've been around and for guys that haven't been around, I think the test is still to make it real and make it a living thing. And it was quite a test, We kind of aimed our sights high, but I think everybody came through. And Pat Smear, I'm glad you brought him up, because he's from the 70s. He's kind of from what started the spark in all the scene. And it was kind of a justice in a weird way that he's getting his just desserts.
In a case, if you're out there, you don't know, Pat Smear from the Germs, one of the bands that started it all.
Right. And to have it go full circle, a full blue circle, is such a great thing.
We're going to check out another fire hose video. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, this was made by a Minnesota guy named Phil Harder, and it's the most cerebral of all the videos. It's kind of I guess the MTV thought it was too nasty or something. This old man is greedy and he wants the cow's milk. So he makes the boy milk the cow, and he fires the gun off because he gets so happy. The cow bolts and breaks his leg, and the kid tries to fix the leg. Now we leave it up to the imagination how he resolves this, and it is a tragic thing. But I think Phil Harder did a great job. And there's hardly any quick editing. It's just a slow.
Let's get into it. Introduce the video.
And it was ECONO.
More ECONO. Let's introduce the video.
Yeah, it's Walking the Cow, a great song written by Daniel Johnston.
And of course, right here on Dave's Super Tasty